We got a Bears victory post-game show.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we do.
What's up, guys? What's up? What's up?
What's going on?
Feeling good, man.
Yeah, man. That was a good win. A grinded out win.
Team win.
Sure did. That was a team win. That was a lot of fun, actually. A lot of fun. Yeah.
All right, that's the show. All right.
Exactly. There we go. We're good.
No, man, this was fun. So if you guys are just tuning in, thank you guys. Club Dub Podcast presented by SportsMockery.com. We are gonna do these moving forward after Bears games, but this was a good win for them. They needed it. This was a win that we kind of projected on looking at the 17 game roster. This was one you want to win. It's one you have to win if you were looking to be in the playoffs this year. This is a big win. As much as they tried to screw it at the end of the game, there's all the side stories that we're going to get into happened in this game with Dalton and now Fields playing and quarterback controversy for week 3 against Cleveland and the dog pound. As much as all of that is going to play into next week, this was a game you had to have. Fields closed it out. The defense made it happen. Sean Desai cracked the whip this week, and they looked great, and they got a win. This was great.
No doubt. I mean, the defense was flying all over the place. They were playing with speed, energy, discipline for the most part. And, they looked great. The front seven was outstanding, and the secondary looked way better than any of us probably expected them to look. So they still have some issues that they need to iron out, but this was a huge step in the right direction. And if they continue to play like this, they're probably going to be okay.
100%. You saw the pass rush come alive a good bit. You saw schemed pass rushes and stunts and things like that, like Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack on the same side of the line of scrimmage. It was very, or sorry, same side of the ball, I should say. It was very different. I mean, I thought in the first game, maybe Desai's feeling himself out a little bit, like, hey, what do I want to do? What do my players do? Things like that. But I thought today there was a game plan. They played really well. The secondary, for the most part, I think played well. Obviously, the nickel cornerback spot is a concern, certainly. But
Duke Shelley was terrible today.
He got caught out of position several times. But, overall, I mean, and then obviously they actually finished with turnovers, 3 straight, interceptions, and, they actually scored on one. It was important, and it was nice to see them flying around, and they played with energy. They were matching, the offense when Justin Fields came into the game. I think they finally woke up a little bit and played well.
No bigger interception than the one I'm going to show you right here.
Throw the next interception. He's ready to rock.
Play action. Good blitz pick by Mixon, and it's intercepted. Jaylon Johnson with the pick. And Burrow, who had gone 199 passes without an interception, throws a pick on 2 straight passes. 17-3 Bears with the ball when we return.
So why am I showing Jaylon Johnson's interception first? We all know Roquan's was big and it changed the game. That was Jaylon Johnson's first career NFL interception.
Yep.
Right.
Sure
I mean,
was.
even before this, he's been playing outstanding. He was good against the Rams, really no big, hiccups there. And he was excellent against the Bengals. They tried to go at him a number of times, and they got almost nothing. And then, of course, he makes that big play, which he's been long overdue for. He's usually been gifting teammates interceptions. So to see him get one for himself, it's a great thing. And I think this might be a big spark for him because teammates have been talking him up, all training camp, all preseason. Look out for him. He's going to have a big year, and he's proven them right so far.
Absolutely.
Couple pass deflections, too, early on in the game that we saw on third downs. This team just kept forcing third down situations. And whenever they went to Johnson, it was just batted away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he played really well, and I think that play specifically, it's meant to be a comeback timing route, and he's watching Joe Burrow the whole way and knew when he was going to throw the ball and jumped on it and picked it. And I think it's also important, not just because it's Jaylon Johnson's first ever interception, but also you think about the pick six happens, and then the Bengals are like, okay, let's wipe that away. We have 10 minutes or 11 minutes left in this game. We're going to go out and score, and boom, right away, kill that momentum. That was huge. I thought it was a very nice, we got you once, we're going to get you again type of momentum killer, even though the Bengals technically didn't have any momentum, but, you stopped it from even growing. It was a very keen play.
No, I'll be honest, too. I was not expecting the Bears defense to come out and beat these guys with speed. The Bengals, I don't know if a lot of people realize, but the Bengals have so much speed on that offensive side of the ball. I was stunned that they were able to come out and make the plays that they did and hold Joe Mixon. I don't think Joe Mixon had 100 yards rushing today. I think they held him under 100 yards. I mean, Jamar Chase had one big play, again, picking on the slot. But the thing that I loved most about this defense today is I looked away from the TV. I was flipping through red zone after that second interception, and all of a sudden, I was like, wait a minute. I actually have to watch this defense play again. On back-to-back sequences, they came out. I turned my head away and not thinking that, maybe they'd get a pick or, the fumble here. That was must-see TV today from them, and we need that moving forward. If they don't have that, I mean, I don't know how close they are in this game. The offense was not great today. But again, the Roquan Smith, we can't say enough. All pro Ro, man. Pay this man. I'm serious. I can't get. We may not have an offense here, but man, we can draft middle linebackers in this town.
I mean, Roquan was, he was good last week. He had 11 tackles. He was all over the run, and they were all over the run this week. I believe Mixon had 69 yards on 20 carries, so he really didn't get much of anything. And this is without Goldman again. So this run defense has been pretty solid. So he was outstanding. The sack early on, completely clean blitz, just terrific stuff. And then he was right where he needed to be with the pick six, and to barrel over Burrow to get into the end zone. That was the icing on the cake for him.
Yeah, it was a similar play actually on what Justin Fields got picked off, where he kind of leaked out into the play at the end, and the quarterback didn't really see, the linebacker there, and he jumps out and picks it. It was a very nicely, baiting Burrow into that play, especially he knew, because I think Tyler Boyd was settling into a soft spot there in Bears territory. So huge play. Roquan Smith back-to-back really, really key games and just driving up his own value. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the backfield. He was flying. As the old football heads love to say, Roquan was flying around the field today. I mean, he was everywhere. And honestly, when you have a clear soft spot in your defense, Duke Shelley, Roquan's going to be needed in that situation. I mean, I don't want to bag on Duke Shelley, but man, he was god awful today. I hope that what happens to Duke Shelley what happened to Eddie Jackson this week. We got on Eddie last week for being terrible. Eddie really a couple nice plays on third down to start the game. He was in the backfield. That fumble forced was great. I know Gibson recovered it, but that was all Eddie Jackson. Really being on the guy's back end and knocking it out. I mean, this secondary's got a ton of questions still. Jamar Chase is a rookie, and he burned you for a 50-yard touchdown. We're gonna have a lot of things to look at this year, and with the amount of quarterbacks, Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. He's no slouch. All right, this team's gonna play better quarterbacks this year, but the fact that they were able to keep them in check for the most part is important. And if we missed it, I want to go back and if you guys are just tuning in, we are doing a post-game show for all Bears games this year. We're gonna try and do as many as we can. I think we're gonna try and do every Sunday. And Monday. The Bears have a couple of those games, but. Let's look back at the Roquan Smith interception.
Crowd trying to make it more difficult now. Burrow throws, intercepted. It is picked off, and on the run is Roquan Smith. Down the sideline. Smith gets a block all the way. The pick six for Roquan Smith.
Joe Burrow just lost sight of Roquan Smith. He starts to drift under this sit route by Boyd in the seam. Right here, that's who he was throwing to. And he lost vision on Roquan Smith. Excellent play by him, just slowly inching his way underneath that receiver and undercutting that ball. Breathing new life into the Chicago Bears team and extending their lead.
And when you've got a rookie quarterback.
So there you go. Roquan right there. One of the best plays I've ever seen him make in a Bears uniform. That's a really tough catch. Anybody who's like, oh, that was a terribly thrown ball. It wasn't a good thrown ball by Burrow, but I challenge anybody to go out there and try and catch that ball coming in at 60, 70 miles an hour. That was a great catch by Roquan. Great awareness. And that's actually, believe it or not, his first touchdown since high school. Roquan Smith telling that to reporters. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
First touchdown since high school. How about that?
The best part is when he was talking to the media afterwards, he gave the ball to a fan and he regretted it.
I saw him flip it up into the stands. I saw him do that. Yeah, that was funny.
Liv's like, hey, wait, I kind of need that.
Wait, can I?
Jaylon Johnson kept his first interception. See, that was smart.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I had no idea.
And one of the most encouraging things about this game is that the younger guys were making the big plays. You look at Roquan, we already knew that. Jaylon Johnson had the INT. Bilal Nichols had a sack. So a lot of their young guys are really stepping up for this defense, which gives you the encouragement that, they're going to be end up having to hand off the torch eventually with Hicks, Mack, and all these guys. To see them have this sort of foundation really starting to blossom is a great sign for their future.
Yeah, no kidding. And those were the two guys we were talking about in trades with Russell Wilson earlier this year too. Obviously that's a miss, and you wish you had Russ. But the way these two played today, I mean, you clearly see that those two are the anchors of this defense moving forward. And Eddie Jackson, if he plays like he did again today, it's too early to tell. Let him off the hook for last year, but encouraging signs.
Agreed. I think I want to lay out one key piece of this is. You saw what the Bears did on defense in week 1. They couldn't tackle, they couldn't cover, miscommunications. A lot of people have been saying, what were the Bengals doing as part of their game plan with these short throws and, scheming up these small slants and whatever else. I thought it was a good plan for the most part because the Bears can't tackle. They forced them to tackle, and the Bears actually executed today, which is important. And, eventually they started going deep a little bit. Burrow threw one out of bounds, and then he later on hit Jamar Chase, which was a bad angle by Eddie Jackson, especially when you're playing too deep coverage. You can't take that angle. But, the game plan I thought was fine. I mean, any offensive coordinator would look at what the Bears were doing, pick on the nickel corner, which they should have done, and they did, and then make them tackle, which they haven't historically shown they can do very well. Today they did. And, that's encouraging. And now hopefully they can carry it forward because that's going to be important.
Yeah, I'm encouraged by this win in a couple reasons. We kind of knew that we've gotten the best and worst of this Bears defense that we're going to see this year, right?
Yeah.
Week 1, I think is the worst we're going to see it. Week 2, no, go for it. You think we're going to see worse, huh?
Well, I think we're going to see better offenses. You've got Green Bay coming up.
And the Rams?
They played horrible against the Saints, but it's still Aaron Rodgers. He still had their number. Then you've got Tampa right after that. I mean, they're going to play some really good offenses.
Derek Carr looking reborn again, all of a sudden, and Baker Mayfield coming up. I mean, you got some great quarterbacks.
I'm just saying, don't tempt fate by saying something like that, with this Bears team.
Right. I just think that what we saw in week 1 was hopefully an anomaly. I don't know if we're going to see 2 60-plus yard touchdown bombs again this year. We've seen it before, and I also don't think we're going to see 3 interceptions on 3 straight passes ever again this year. I mean, that's the first time that's happened I saw since Ryan Tannehill back when he was with the Dolphins. That's not a record you want if you're Joe Burrow. That's tough. That's a tough look.
I mean, it was a complete team effort, mostly the defense because they provided the big plays with the interceptions, the fumble forced by Eddie, who had a surprisingly good game tackling himself. So give props to him. But the offense still managed to do their part in key situations, especially on the last drive when they had absolutely no momentum. I thought, Justin Fields, in spite of some of his, mistakes, and David Montgomery, they really put that game away when, they had no momentum at all. So, props to the entire team. They made it happen when they needed to make it happen.
I will say this.
Go for it, Dhruv.
I was just going to say, and maybe it's pivoting to what you were going to say, Kev, but to Eric's point about Fields and Montgomery finally icing the game, that game, the Bears need to come away with more points on those turnovers. I mean, that's the first one. Obviously, the first one they got a pick 6. The second one, they get sacked and penaltied out of field goal range, and they end up having to punt, which was they were set up in Bengals territory originally. That was the dropped Allen Robinson touchdown, and then the offensive pass interference on Cole Kmet, which I thought was a weak call, but still no points there. And then only getting a field goal on that third interception when you're set up inside the red zone. I think the first play was Jimmy Graham missing a block on a run from Fields where he would have walked into the end zone. And then that third one where Fields was late on the left side with the throw to Mooney. You need more than that on those interceptions. And so, lucky for the Bears to get away, and hopefully they can be more efficient moving forward. But, those are, better teams than the Bengals are going to capitalize on those.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right. That's a great point, is because the Bengals are, they're not a bad football team. We saw that today. They have weapons on offense, and they have a couple guys on defense that can fly around and make plays. But this is a team if this team's going to be a playoff team, this was a game you needed to have. They got what they needed to do. But against the Browns, you're not winning that game against the Browns if you play like you did today, and you get no points off of turnovers, like you said. Or the thing that really ticked me off today, and I tweeted about it. I understand that it may have been a soft call and Joe Burrow maybe would have, maybe he called it out or whatever. But on 3rd and long, when you force a sack or a gain of no yards, whatever it was, I don't know if he stepped out right before the line and pulled a Mitch, but get away from the quarterback, man.
Yeah.
Are we done with Robert Quinn? Because I'll be honest, that was just an idiotic play. You know the rule. You're a veteran in this league. You've been watching these refs make these calls for the last 3 years.
100%, a boneheaded play on his part. Burrow helped it happen with his obvious flop, but you got to stay away from him in that situation, and Quinn made that mistake, no doubt. But let's be honest here. He had a good game. He was in Burrow's face a lot as a pass rusher, so he's off to a good start this year. You'd like him to not, make boneheaded mistakes like that from time to time, but, hopefully he'll learn from it. But if he continues to make mistakes like that, then yeah, you'd probably wish for him to not play.
That was awful.
Often.
That was really terrible.
He had a sack, I believe, 2 quarterback hits. He had another tackle for loss on a run. I mean, he was active today, no question. But that was a big play because you think about it. First drive out of halftime, you have the opportunity to stop them, back, no points, get the ball back, and take command of the game. And instead, they end up getting a field goal. So instead of 7-0 with the opportunity to widen the lead, it's 7-3 now. Which those are free points you just can't give away. I thought that was a bad play. Obviously, I also thought the Alec Ogletree. No, it wasn't Ogletree. It was Tayshaun Gibson with the taunting penalty. Weak probably, but you got to know the rules, and they're looking for it this year. You saw
especially
a team
especially early in the season. Yeah,
exactly. And then last week you saw Ogletree get called for taunting on something similarly, kind of like, come on, that's not really taunting, is it? But you got to know the rules. I thought those are instances of undisciplinedness that I think the Bears need to clean up, and hopefully quickly, because that again will wreck a game against a better team.
Yeah, again, you're playing a Super Bowl hopeful next Sunday. The Browns are a really good football team. We're going to see that. They're a little banged up on the offensive line. I don't know. They had another one of their studs, their left tackle went out. Jarvis Landry got hurt, so maybe we see OBJ make his season debut next week. But they also had their star left tackle go out today. I don't know his status.
Did he go out today? I thought he was already out.
Yeah, I thought it was already out. Jedrick Wills, right?
He'll probably be back next week.
They had somebody else go out today. Let me check Schefter's.
Didn't hear about that.
Schefter was all over these injuries today. We had quarterbacks dropping like flies left and right.
Baker Mayfield did leave the game with a shoulder for a bit, but then he came back and played the rest of the way.
Listen to these injuries today. T.J. Watt, Tyrod Taylor, Bradley Chubb, Tua Tagovailoa, Andy Dalton, Carson Wentz, Jarvis Landry, Darrell Henderson, JaMychal Hasty. These are some significant names.
Derek Carr was down for a bit. Yeah, Derek Carr was down for a bit. Baker was out for a bit. So, yeah, some pretty significant ones. And Marcus Mariota he's a backup, but he was placed on IR this week too. So, yeah, there's a lot of injuries here early in the season.
Okay, so I must have read that wrong. So it's just Bradley Chubb, their pass rusher, that got hurt. So I thought I saw another lineman went out. But either way, next week is a game that you're going to need Eddie Goldman back. You're going to really, really need him against that Browns rushing game. It's probably, I think the Browns have the best running back room in the league, yes. And I don't think it's particularly close.
That's not.
Yeah, so
really good.
Yeah, so you're going to need those guys back. But there's, again, promising signs all over the board on defense today. A couple boneheaded mistakes. Robert Quinn looked healthy. Khalil Mack got his first sack of the year. Now, let's talk about the offense because it's a little bit of a different story.
Sure is.
Listen, yeah, go for it. I'll let you kick it off.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. First drive of the game, yes, aided by a defensive pass interference play, but I thought Andy Dalton did well to escape and throw that ball in a good spot. The Bears looked fine on offense, moving the ball again before Andy Dalton's injury. And, yeah, they didn't get points on their second drive, but they possessed the ball. They got into Bengals territory again. I mean, it looked fine and smooth. And I mean, dare I say good with Dalton in the game. And then he got injured, and then Justin Fields comes in. And there was a lot of discombobulation, I thought, on the offense with Fields in. And certainly part of it is they haven't practiced together. Yeah, they don't understand maybe Fields' inflection in his voice too much yet. We saw a couple of false starts on Fields where he's anticipating the ball, but they didn't get it snapped in time.
Yeah, not one, but two on the quarterback. Once I don't remember the last time I've seen a false start on a quarterback, let alone two. He was nervous.
Drive. I mean, it was rough, and I thought, it was just not smooth. And Fields was a little bit late with the ball a couple of times. I thought he held onto the ball too long. There was a couple mechanical things where he didn't have both hands on the ball on his sack, and where he fumbled, and luckily he was able to fall on top of it. So clearly some learning opportunities for Fields, and he looks like he may start next week in Cleveland. So just because of Dalton's situation. So I'll say this overall, and we can get into the details. I saw encouraging signs when Dalton was in the game on offense. I saw some excitement from Fields with his deep ball that was dropped, and then his ability to pick up that pretty much game-winning first down. But I also saw reasons why the Bears still feel he should sit for a bit. I thought there was evidence of that too. So I'm sure our listeners will blast me for that, but that's what I saw.
And that's fair. I mean, he looked like a rookie. He looked like exactly like he should have looked. I mean, the fun stuff was in there. You saw the opportunities for big plays. There were a few of them. I mean, one obvious touchdown that was dropped, and another that might have been a touchdown that was dropped. And, the walk-in touchdown he should have had that was poorly blocked. So he should have had 3 scores in that game, if not for poor execution. And that's been the common, consistent problem with this offense, poor execution in key situations. So especially in the red zone. And this is something they said that they felt that they had improved since last year. So far, we're not exactly seeing that. And, that's one of the frustrating parts about this entire Nagy system. They say that they're better at something, and then they don't prove it on the field. So hopefully, if Justin is going to start, I think he probably will, given that Andy's situation, you just hope that he'll look a little bit smoother, less, obvious mistakes, and just kind of continue to build his confidence and see if he can capitalize on some of those big plays. You're just going to have to take the good with the bad for now, because it's just going to happen. That's just the way this works with rookie quarterbacks.
And mark my words, we heard this talk all offseason long. Why is Charles Leno not on this team? You know why? Because they struggle in the red zone. You know who helps you in the red zone? It's Jimmy freaking Graham. He wasn't there today, but he's going to help this team in the red zone in the next couple of weeks. I guarantee it. He lined up. He was there a couple times. He just was covered. And they looked at Robinson a couple times. It was a good throw. Really nice play by the Bengals secondary. I mean, honestly, this team struggles in the red zone. Jimmy Graham is one of the best to ever do it at tight end in the red zone. I don't love the amount of money he's getting paid, but we need to pump the brakes on that. We can bash Robert Quinn. I'm on that. He had a good game today, but let's not bash the Jimmy Graham thing, especially if we're comparing it to a Charles Leno deal. Charles Leno, look at what happened to his starting quarterback last week. He's done. His career might be done. He's a revolving door. Let's end that conversation. But anyway, do you guys think Fields or Dalton starts next week?
I think it's going to be Fields. I think Dalton's knee is not going to be at a point where he'll be able to play, especially against that fierce pass rush of Cleveland. So do you really want to trot him out there with a knee that's not 100%? Probably not, especially behind this offensive line. So I think it's going to be Fields. His mobility is going to give him a chance to maybe keep the offense moving, especially on the road against a tough team. And, I'm just hoping he'll look a little bit better from this past one, even though I thought he looked fine. And, just continue to build the experience. And, eventually he's going to get there. He has that mentality that you expect him to just continue to improve. And I think this experience is going to help him. Yeah.
And I need to catch up on the post-game presser on what Matt Nagy said about Andy Dalton's knee. But I caught a couple of glimpses of tweets from Bears Beat, and it sounds like it's possible Dalton's knee got worse as the game went on. So there was thought that if Fields got injured, Dalton would go back in, but it sounds like his knee was locking up and not looking good. So they're going to get an MRI done, and because of that, I'm thinking Fields will probably take the field. You have Myles Garrett, you have Jadeveon Clowney on that defensive line next week, and that's a rough matchup. So we'll see, and hopefully Fields and hopefully the game plan is something that can take advantage of maybe some eagerness on defense to go after a rookie quarterback. But It'll be interesting to see what they come out with next week. I do expect it to be Fields at this point. However, broadly speaking, I wonder how Fields is going to progress as the season goes on. By the time Dalton's healthy, if he gets healthy later this season, if Fields is looking like a rookie still, will they put Dalton back in eventually? That's a interesting open question.
I don't think so. I think if they make the decision to go to Fields, I think that's that. But that decision is. We'll go back. We'll have a show early this week, going over the press conference and other things like that. We don't have all of those details right now.
Right.
And once we have Andy Dalton's status, we'll obviously bring it to you. But this is, if Fields leads them to a win in Cleveland, it's his job.
Oh yeah, that would be
it's his job, man, and I think he can do it. This defense plays like they did today. They have a chance to win that game. No,
Mayfield is not Joe Burrow. I'm just saying.
Oh, Baker's great. I was sleeping on him. You were the only one I knew that loved Baker, and I hated on you for it. But this is even before we did the show and before I was even at Sports Mocker. I'm like, who's this dude that loves Baker Mayfield?
Look, man, all I can say.
Hey, you were right. You were right. You were right.
See, this happens on Twitter a lot. So I'm just gonna take my wins as they come. But look, I am absolutely rooting for. Obviously Dalton to get healthy just for himself. I thought it was unfortunate he got hurt today. But look, if it's Fields' team here on out, I'm fascinated to watch this journey. I've made my concerns with Fields back when he was drafted. I've made them clear. I saw evidence of that today again. But look, he made plays at the end of the game to win it eventually. He bounced back after that interception. And I didn't love the second down decision to throw it to Kmet in the flat and get 0 yards on 2nd and 9. But look, he picked up the first down to drain the game, and that was.
Well, who missed that block? What's his face came in completely unblocked on that play. He had like 3 guys running in on him. But yeah, you're right.
Might have been a Fetty, or it might have been just an extra rusher that they weren't able to get. And at this point, Fields is. There were a couple instances where Fields didn't step up in the pocket when he should have, and things like that. Hopefully those are things that go away with experience. But things to watch next week.
Here's that run by Fields to ice the game, by the way. We're looking here. I was scared. I thought he stepped up into a sack there.
Yeah.
And then he got out of the pocket, and then I got worried about his knee right there. I freaked out.
You weren't ready for David Montgomery to be QB3? Step in and
yeah, no. Honestly,
one thing about that entire sequence is the fact that he made sure to get himself down to keep the clock running too. People sort of ignore that in the euphoria of the moment. It was really smart by him not to get pushed out of bounds.
Can you play that again?
Yeah, I'll play it again. Wait, and also, Erik, you mean he didn't run out of bounds before? I've never seen that in Chicago before.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Key situation to run out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't want to watch that again because it looked his knee looked weird there. He landed fine, but it just looked awkward. But listen, like you said, Dhruv, if this is Fields' team going forward, we're going to see the growing pains.
Certainly.
Bears fans need to realize this dude's not Patrick Mahomes. Nobody's Patrick Mahomes, man. Let's calm our expectations. I see Twitter going berserk, oh, that was a terrible interception, and I'll show it to you right now.
3rd and 8, pressure again. Fields throws, and it's intercepted. Logan Wilson with the pick, and it's first.
Listen, interceptions are going to happen. Mistakes are going to happen. We get all of that. For Christ's sake, look at Zach Wilson today. He had 4 interceptions.
Oh, look at Zach Wilson.
He had 4 interceptions today. He's a rookie quarterback. He got outplayed by Mac Jones today.
He got Belichick is what he got.
Dude, you damn well know Bill Belichick had this game circle. He goes, Zach Wilson, my guy's going to be better. I'm going to make him look better. Absolutely clowned the Jets today. The Patriots rolling in that one. Listen, mistakes are going to happen. The sacks are going to happen. Stepping up like that, I thought he was going down. Mitch would have gone down there. The fact that he was able to break that and get a first down and stay in bounds, like you said, Erik, huge. He ices away the game. They come away with a win. And this is the saying you're going to hear me say all year. You never apologize in this league for winning games.
No,
it doesn't matter if it's ugly. There's 17 games. There's not many of them. The Bears, the division may not look great to start. It's a lot better than what these national big heads are telling you. The Packers are no slouch. The Vikings are a good team. The Lions suck. But those other two teams are going to be competing in this division. If you want to make the playoffs, there's no apologizing for this win. It looked ugly at the end, but there's absolutely no apologizing. A lot of teams go down to the wire like this.
No, you never apologize
for style.
Speaking of anything that happened in football, check out the Vikings are up 20-7 in Arizona.
Yeah, I saw a bomb to their number 17, their third wide receiver.
This is why you don't trust week 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you're right on that because I was pissed after week 1, so I hope you guys can calm me down a little bit.
Look at the Saints, and the Saints got destroyed in Carolina, and Joe Brady's up in his head coach value with what he's doing with Sam Darnold. So it's interesting. I mean, the league looks really interesting right now. The Bears are 1-1. They're right in the thick of it. They're guaranteed to be in a tie for first place at the end of this week, and we only have 15 games left. I mean, 2 weeks have just gone like that, and all of a sudden,
I know.
It's wild how quickly it goes. But the Bears are they can rest easy for a day, and they need to prep heavily for Cleveland next week.
You guys think we can get Chris to get us tickets to one of these games moving forward, and we can all go and have a good time? Might have to dig into that sports mockery pocket and see if we can go to a game. I almost went to this one, but I didn't really want to watch Andy Dalton play, if we're being completely transparent on this show, which I like to be with the audience. I didn't want to watch Andy Dalton, and also I'm kind of glad I didn't go because it just was kind of a laissez-faire game from the offense. Now I'm looking at some of these future games. I might try and get to a couple this year. This team, they showed me something today.
The Bears are going to play host to several good teams, good players. I mean, if you're a fan of the game, you want to get out to Soldier Field this year. I mean, you're going to see. Forget the Lions. The Lions are the Lions, but maybe Aaron Rodgers' last tour. You have Ravens coming in, the 49ers coming in. Bears visit Tom Brady. Who else is coming in? Whatever. It's a lot of good teams, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, I think Arizona comes in later in the year.
Yeah, Kyler will be here. Yep, he looks. I'll be honest. I wasn't a believer in Kyler Murray. He looks great.
Still not.
It's not Kyler that's the problem to me. It's Kingsbury.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. It's going to be really unfair when one of those teams doesn't make the playoffs this year. The NFC West is a gauntlet. All 4 of those teams are better than any team in the NFC North. So, I think that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be tough when one of those teams doesn't make it. But guess what? That's football. And again, what do we always say? And what am I always going to say on this show? You never apologize. The games that you play, the schedule that you get, and how you win these games. The Bears may have tried to cough this one up today, but guess what? They're not the only team in the NFL with issues. This is a hard league to win games, and they got to win today. They're 1-1. Next week, I don't know. Predictions for next week? Do we want to go into that, or do we want to?
I don't know about predictions, but we all think they're probably going to lose because the Browns are a really good team. But let's just say that Texans hung around with them for a while, and Houston's not supposed to be a really good team for a variety of reasons. And they lost 31-21, but it was closer than it might have appeared. So that gives you an idea that the Bears, if they play a good game, can beat them, because as good as Cleveland is, they're beatable. They lost to the Jets last year. Let's not forget that. So this is not a team that's known for being dominant at all times. They can be beat. Anybody can be beat. It's the NFL. So I think the Bears can win. Do I think they will? I'm not sure. I'm going to have to think on that for a while. But, I'm not going to say they outright can't beat the Browns.
Yeah, my early prediction is they're going to lose. But it really depends. I mean, if Eddie Goldman comes back, there's a chance. But at the same time, Baker has a cannon. He's going to want to test deep. And, I mean, if you're looking at this defense covering deep ball so far, it hasn't been that great. So we'll see. Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, if Eddie Goldman comes back and, with an extra week to prep, if Justin Fields is going to be the starter, it could be, at least it'll be an interesting game. I, unfortunately, will not be there or will not be watching. I'll be in Harry Potter world with my fiance for our anniversary.
Oh,
I know.
Jealous.
Next Sunday?
Next Sunday, yeah.
What time's the game on Sunday? You're not going to watch it all. You're not going to watch it on the Dueling Dragons.
So we're getting it on. So we're getting into Disney World we're getting into Orlando on Friday night, and so Saturday, Sunday, and then part of Monday, and then we fly out Monday. So
okay.
I'll be missing. I'll be I'll be probably on the Forbidden Journey, something, the castle tour.
That's getting a little PG-13 rated R in this chat. I don't want to hear about your Forbidden Journey in Disney World.
Disney World. Hey, I'm talking about the Hogwarts castle tour. What else? Jeez.
Hey! You said it, not me. Anyway, I've been to Harry Potter World. It's a cool place. I like it. Butterbeer is very overrated. Butterbeer is very overrated.
Oh yeah,
but it's cool. But it's a cool spot. Don't go in. So when I was there last, I bought people tried to convince me to buy one of those like Harry Potter wands, like out of like
don't do it. No.
Store. They're like $80.
Yeah.
No,
they don't do anything.
I've seen one Harry Potter movie.
Exactly. This is my fiance's third time going there. It's my first time. She's a Harry Potter nut. In fact, when I proposed to her, it was Harry Potter themed. Of course it was. But I'm very excited just to tour the shops and go on the rides. I'm not really a roller coaster guy, but looking forward to these, man. It feeds the inner interest of. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so it should be fun. But yeah, I'll be missing the game, and I'll be scrolling Twitter probably, and she won't be happy, but it's okay. It'll be a good game.
I was also simping this morning.
Exactly. She knows who. Yeah, exactly. She knows who she chose. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was also. I'll be honest. I haven't missed a Bears quarter football in a while, but I was at a farmer's market this morning, also on a date. So I get that. I get that. She even asked. She goes, "Are you missing the Bears game?" I'm like, "Yes."
How much of the game did you miss?
I just missed the first quarter. We left at 10 o'clock. Got there. I got out of there like 12:15, and I got back to the start of the second quarter. So I missed one of those, the first taunting penalty by the Bears. So I was going to comment on that, but no, I won't. I don't plan on missing another game or a quarter this year. I'm going to plan those dates for during the week. But
keep the chat rolling, guys. I'll be following.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, we want some questions coming in. I don't see a whole lot. I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show, so I will take that L. But we're going to start doing some of these post-game shows. They're going to be real brief, 30, 40 minutes. We'll do our real show during the week to really talk and dive in to these Bears wins. This was a gritty win for them. We're going to really get to hear more about Nagy. We'll hear more about Andy Dalton later on in the week. We'll hear about Fields. There's going to be a lot to dig into during the weeks of these games. This show is really just to give you guys an outlet. Everybody tuning in right now, leave your comments. We want to talk to you. We want you guys on the show. We're going to invite fans on the show eventually when we get some people that really love being on. We want to hear from you guys. Like, vent it out. They're not going to win every game this year, and we're going to be doing these after losses too. So
those will be fun, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think we ought to get prepared for one next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, we'll have to do the post game show maybe in the evening on Sunday if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll once I get back to the hotel, I'll quickly Game Pass the game, and then I'll be.
Oh, do you have NFL Game Pass?
I do. I decided to keep it. I like to watch all the games every week as much as I can. I'll get
Erik. Drew's holding out on us, dude.
What?
Well, actually,
he kept that quiet for the entire offseason and now brings it up.
Well, I mean, I need to be able to quickly run through games, and so this is an easy way to do it. I'm on a plane, I'm somewhere else, and put on a game real quick, 35 minutes, and you've seen another one. I'm looking forward to several of the ones played this week. I mean, you look at San Francisco, Philadelphia. You look at Browns, Texans. I want to watch that one. Vegas, Pittsburgh. All these ones I'm going to have to watch. So it should be fun.
Well, I think that about does it for us. You guys got anything else before we take off into next week? We'll get a show going. We're going to have a new schedule. So we're not going to do Thursdays. We're going to do post-game shows. We're going to do a show during the week, kind of giving you an all-encompassing look at the previous game. And we're also going to look at the next schedule going ahead. Again, we'll probably do Monday or Tuesday of this week, and once we get a full schedule, obviously we will tweet it out on our pages. You can follow us right here. You can see our Twitter handles right in the bottom left-hand corner at Wells15Kevin. Please, I need more followers. I feel like a loser on Twitter, man. Eric's killing it. He's got 13,000, something like that.
800 something
also,
like that,
I did find out today Erik doesn't follow me on Twitter, so we're really uncovering those secrets.
Damn. Holy shit. Erik.
Let's be honest, Kevin. I don't like it all that much.
The love there is real. You can follow Dhruv right there. And, of course, we need more followers on our Twitter page as well, at @ClubDub_.
There you go.
Podcast. But, again, Bears win, guys. Let's celebrate. Guys, go out and have a good time. It's a beautiful day in Chicago right now. I'm going to go out and I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to watch some Sunday Night Football. This was a good win. We should be excited. The future is here. If Fields is legit and we see him next week, this is the future of the team.
A win is a win, guys. Go nuts.
Take what you can get.
All right. Hey, we'll see you guys in a couple days. Peace.
And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.